Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and let's jump back in with lesson number 6 in the Arduino Basics tutorial series. Today, we're going to be looking at using an RGB LED, wiring up on our breadboard, and being able to set the color value of the LED. For lesson 6, we're going to start with a blank slate on our wiring diagram, and we're going to put in a few wires over to our breadboard to bring in the red, the green, and the blue colors that are going to eventually connect to our LED. We're going to use pin 9, 10, and 11 on our Arduino to represent our red, our green, and our blue colors. So we're going to start by bringing those down to our breadboard. So there's my red wire from pin 9 down to my breadboard. My green wire, and you'll notice I'll skip one here, and I'm going to move one over to the left. We'll explain that in a minute. And then my blue just to the left of that. So I've wired up red from 9, green from 10, and blue from 11. And I've got them wired with one gap here in between the red and the green. And the reason for that will become clear in a minute when we look at the RGB LED and how the pins are on that LED. Next, I'm going to bring in a 220 ohm resistor, and I'm going to connect just in between my green and red up to the other side of the breadboard. And this is going to connect to our ground channel. Now I'm all set for my RGB LED. I'll bring it in here on my simulation software, and then I'll show you on the camera as well. An RGB LED is made up of 4 pins. On an RGB LED, there's one pin that is noticeably longer than the other. Okay, this is our ground. The lone short pin is going to be our red, and then moving out from the long, we have green and blue. So as you read across the RGB, it should read red, ground, green, blue. All right, so just make sure you're checking your orientation on that when you're setting it up and wiring it into your board. So let's just take a second and trace our circuit here so we're sure we understand how it works. We have our ground row on our breadboard coming out of the ground from the Arduino. We have our voltage row on our breadboard coming out of the 5 volt on the Arduino. And we're not actually using that right now, but it's still nice to have it set up. Then we have pin 9, 10, and 11 representing red, green, and blue, wiring to the red, the green, and the blue part of the RGB LED, leaving the long leg of the RGB LED to run through a 220 ohm resistor and back to that ground row. And this is all the wiring that we're going to need to be able to play with our RGB LED and change the color values of it using our code in Arduino. So we'll head on over to the code now and we can get started. So here we are in our coding interface. I've created a new file and I need to give it a name. Lesson 6 seems like the right name to use. So in lesson 6, we're going to be using an external RGB LED. So let's start by setting up the variables that we're going to need to use in order to make this work. I've started by setting up my physical output pins. So red pin is 9, green pin is 10, and blue pin is 11, exactly the way that we had it in our wiring diagram. Next, we're going to add in some constants and variables that we'll use throughout the program. So we're going to want to store the red, green, and blue values that the user gives us to put them into the LED. So we created variables for an integer for red value, green value, and blue value. And we're going to use these to represent our color value. Now we jump into our setup function. We're going to start by setting up our serial because we're going to be collecting input and putting output for the user. Now that we've set up our serial, we need to set our pin modes for all 3 of our output pins to the LED. So now we have our red pin, our green pin, and our blue pin all set as output pins so that we'll be able to push out values to them to show their color. In our loop function, we're going to ask the user for a red, a green, and a blue value. Then we're going to store those, put them on the LED to display a certain color, wait 5 seconds, and then restart that process over again. So the first step of that is going to be prompting the user for the values that they want to give us for the RGB LED. Now, how does somebody give us a color value? Well, from color mixing, we know that a certain amount of red, green, and blue mixed together can make pretty well every color. So how do we define them? Well, colors are defined on the spectrum from 0 to 255. 255 being a full color value, 0 being no color value. So we're going to ask the user for values between 0 and 255 for each of red, green, and blue. So we're going to do this using the serial monitor. So we'll stop there for just a second and we'll look at what we have. We've started with a prompt for the user. Serial.println. \n is a special character that refers to a new line. And this just means add in an extra enter before we display this. And I'm just trying to create separation and make the text look good when it's displayed. Please enter the color values for the LED. Serial.println is just going to jump line. Now we're going to ask the user for their values. Now I've only put in the red value ask so far. We'll add the green and the blue in a second. Started with a prompt, red value, colon space. Then I do the while serial available is equal to 0. And this is me telling Arduino, wait until the serial has actually been used and then store the value that was given. All right, so this loop will loop indefinitely as it waits for the user to press enter on an inputted value. Once they've pressed enter, it takes that value and using parse integer, parse int, it stores it using my red value variable that I had up above. So I can essentially copy this or rewrite it twice more for my green and my blue value. So I've added in the green and the blue ask. So now it should put a prompt for the user, prompt for the red, prompt for the green, prompt for the blue. Once this code right here is finished running, my red, green, and blue value variables should now be stored and initialized with the values that the user gave us. So we're ready to write those values to the LED. Now you'll see that I used the analog write function to send these values out to the Arduino. Now you'll notice that I use the analog write function instead of the digital write function to send my color values out to the LED. I want this to be a range of values, not just a 0 or a 1 that we see in our digital. Okay? And you can notice that next to pins 9, 10, and 11 in your Arduino, you'll see the little squiggly mark, which shows us that we can do analog values with those pins. Well, the red pin is getting sent the red value, the green pin the green value, and the blue pin is getting sent to the blue value. These values are coming from the user input that we just completed. This should allow our LED to light up with a given color from the user. Now we want to add in a 5-second delay and reset the LED to being off so that the whole process can repeat. So I've added in a delay of 5 seconds, and then after the delay, analog write to each of the 3 pins with the value 0, which will effectively turn them off. Now my loop function ends, which means the loop function starts all over again, and it will prompt the user, wait for them to input their values, and send it off to the LED. So before we push our code and test it, I just wanted to show you a really quick RGB color picker. If you just Google RGB color picker, it'll come up as an applet built right into Google. And you can scroll through all the different color sequences. And when you're over a color, you can see its red, green, and blue value. So we can take this when we're doing our test. So 215, 87, and 217. And we can try this out in our code. So I enter 215 for the red, 87 for the green, and 217 for the blue. And we'll see our RGB LED turn on to that nice shade of pink. What you might find is that you have a hard time seeing the LED individual colors. I find what helps is if you take a ping pong ball and you cut a little hole in it and put it over your LED, you can see the colors blend together a little better. Sometimes you can also do it just with the palm of your hands, just create a little dark shell over the LED. That also can work quite well. So now that our code is done, let's just push it out to our Arduino, and I'll just show you the interface in here and talk briefly about one thing with the serial monitor that we want to watch out for. Okay, so we are pushed out to the board. So if we pull up the serial monitor, we'll see our display asking us for input. Really, really important, especially if you're using the web interface. You shouldn't run into this problem in the basic, but you might. You need to make sure your serial monitor is set to no line ending and not set to new line. Otherwise, when we press enter, it's going to trigger 2 events on the input as opposed to just 1. So no line ending. So let's just go for a straight red LED. So 255 for the red, 0 for the green, and 0 for the blue. And you'll see that my LED has turned on red. And then it turns back off after 5 seconds. And you can go through the process again. 215, 87, 217 for that pinkish color we were looking for before. And again, a bit harder to see, but you can start to see it coming through. So the code's working wonderfully. Great job, the base lesson for lesson number 6. We won't be doing a challenge this time, but for the extension, instead of getting the user to input red, green, and blue values to dictate the color, I want you to see if you can bring back those loops we used before and use for loops to create a color blend. If you look at the LED, you can see that I'm moving from my reds into my greens, into my blues, and then back to my reds. And it's just continuing that cycle using loops. So very interesting code to make this happen. Good luck working on the extension, and I'll see you back here in lesson number 7. And please remember, like the videos and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with our Arduino Basics tutorial series. Thanks for watching.